I wouldn't consider that a matter of civil rights per se, because civil rights regards things that regards the treatment of people in ways that are not just that the government has done. I think that's a new social movement today that is built upon this idea that there is a white culture. I don't believe that. I don't even think there's a black culture really. I think there's just culture. Culture is simply a bunch of activities that people in different geographies around the world do, but no one person has a monopoly over culture. I have black friends who wear kimonos and swing katanas and watch Japanese anime cartoons. Are they any less black because they do that? And me, I mean, personally, what is called black culture, I don't really identify with, but I identify with aspects of a lot of different cultures. So yeah, I like R&B. I like 90s R&B, even though it's predominantly a black dominated field. I enjoy listening to Patti LaBelle. I enjoy watching black comedians, but I also enjoy listening to white comedians and Asian comedians and watching Asian movies and watching all kind of other things. I think culture is simply what we make it. It's not appended to our skin color. And the moment we can get past this idea that culture and your value are appended to your skin color is the moment we can actually see things for how they are, not as we perceive them through our narrow racial lenses.
Right. Torin, you said that integration helped reinforce a fantasy of Black elitism that left most Black Americans behind and Black children unprepared. This is exactly what Heather just talked about. Her family moving out of this space where they were constantly being robbed and moving into a better space. But then she was unprepared for what she was about to experience with those s'mores.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we still hear these stories in the modern day. I mean, if you go on social media, almost every day you see a young Black girl or a young Black boy in a restaurant or someplace where they're being accosted by somebody who's white or somebody who's racist, and they don't have the tools of how to push back against that sort of stuff. And it's sad to see that because it's the year 2022, and we have these kids who are still dealing with this sort of stuff. So my question is, if integration works so well, why aren't the parents preparing these kids for what the real world is like? And I understand the point about that. Yeah, we live in a world of cultures and we live in a world of different cultures, but this is still a Eurocentric, white dominated society that we live in. And you're going to have to learn how to deal with that one way or the other, or it's going to deal with you, unfortunately.
When some of the highest achievers in this nation are Ethiopian and African immigrants and Asian people, I have a hard time believing we're in a Eurocentric dominated culture. It makes no sense. That makes no sense to me. What? Yeah.
You're talking about the idea of the model minority, and every immigrant culture that comes to America becomes a model minority. That doesn't have anything to do with the fact that Black Americans are still at the bottom of every socioeconomic metric in this country. One or two model minorities is not an integration rate.
This is a common tactic to de-emphasize and degrade the accomplishments of people who had much less than African Americans have in America, who have made it here through their genius, through their talents, through their wit. It's just an attack to do that. Booker T. Washington was correct. If Black folks simply work and put their minds to it, and get community, that can help them. And even W.E.B. Du Bois, who didn't like Washington whatsoever, said the Black race will be saved by its best men. And that's the mentality we have to cultivate in people, not this idea that the entire world is still racist, that Black kids, all of them still deal with racism. I mean, what if a Black kid has never dealt with a race situation before? Does their experience become invalid? I mean, we live in a culturally plural society in which a lot of different things happen. And if you have this lens that racism is involved in every minor thing, like this idea of microaggressions, you'll never be able to escape the idea of racism being there.